Hello everybody, how are we all doing today? We are back, another video on the channel, and today we have episode 8 of season 2 of My Drive. We are absolutely flying through these races here in the season. Already close towards the end of the season, and we have got 3 exciting races left today. Before we get properly underway, hit that subscribe button, like button on this video, and comment down below if you've been enjoying season 3, or the support that you guys give me. Just lets me know that people out there are enjoying it. I've been enjoying making these, so all the support is much appreciated. If we jump into today's race, I'm going to spoil what happened in last week's race around Fuji, so if you do want to go watch that, pause this video, go watch it now, because what a roller coaster of a race we had. Obviously starting at the back of the grid, eventually getting some pace underway before having an unfortunate incident with the GT3 McLaren. Obviously having lost its rear wing, was going very slowly on the straight and caused us to collide into the back of it, take some damage. Then it was very much a recovery drive from there. And a pretty good recovery drive at that. You know, in the final stint we were actually second, but then the Cadillac of Earl Bamber threw a spanner in the works by going a lap extra than what we expected them to, and that meant that the race went a lap extra than what we had calculated our fuel stop, meaning that coming across the line we ran out of energy, and that allowed the Ferrari of Fuoco, I believe it was, to sneak past us into second place. The winner of that race, obviously, our main championship rival of Lopez in the number 7 car. There's very weird glitch there happening, and we actually drove off the track there on the warm-up lap. But yeah, the Conway Lopez number 7 car winning at Toyota's home turf of Fuji has really drawn them quite towards us. Obviously Ferrari still lead the manufacturers, and Toyota lead the team, so it will be an interesting race to see if we can retain the lead of the drivers. If we look at the grid order quickly before we start, Bennett in the Isotta Fraschini, having scored points again last race out, is actually starting on pole position with Nico Muller in the 93 Peugeot side beside him. Lapierre, Stephen is with our teammate Bortoletti, just ahead of our championship rival of Lopez. Campbell on the first of the Penske Porsche starts in 7th place, with Fuoco, Buemi, Pierre Guidi and Chatan down to 11th. We start in 12th. Obviously random grid order, as the cars have all now lined up, ready to go for this race. Behind us we have the yellow AF Corsa Ferrari of Kubica, followed by the second Penske Porsche of Kevin Estre, and then the first of the BMWs, Van der Linde. Van Dorn in the Peugeot 94 starts 16th, Bamber 17th, with Van Thor and Rasmussen rounding off the grid. This is going to be a very difficult race today. Obviously sprint race, 45 minutes, not a huge amount of places to overtake around Sebring, and with it being very bumpy, we know our cars struggled across the bumps beforehand. And as we come through the final corner, everyone waiting patiently for the lights to go out. And finally they're away and off we go, and we've got a terrible start there. And Kevin Estre already jumped past us, as well as Chatan and Kubica, Chatan and Kubica on the left hand side. And coming down towards turn 1 we get hooked by the Peugeot, again having an incident with the Peugeot. That dragged us out wide, and he even pushed us out wide as well. And what a disastrous start there, falling down from 12th place all the way down to 19th there. And we are going to have the recovery driver of all recovery drives to score some points here today. Just getting hooked there by we had Van Dorn on our outside. He's obviously turning in. We're trying to turn in as well, but he's like pivoting us around the front of his car. And unfortunately, that means that we have dropped 7 positions. Luckily, I think there should be very minimal damage to our car. But that is really not ideal for our championship's hopes. Lopez retains 7th position at the front of the field. And as we start this race, our tyres seem to be pretty cold, and we're going to have to, you see, just understeer. You know, there's an apex somewhere at that corner. We just couldn't find it. Might take us a few laps to get up to speed and get onto the back of Van Dorn. And also something else to note in this race, as you see behind us, we have the new GT3 cars. So we have the Ford Mustang, the Porsche 11 and the Aston Martin. So very exciting to see them in action. But we of course are focusing on mainly on the hypercars here. And we'll cycle up the grid to give you the order to the first lap. As there's battling here. Is that Luke trying to get past Bortoletti? Can Bortoletti get a good run down to this tricky, almost hairpin like? Where's Lopez going to dive down the inside? Looks like he gets the move done and is up into 6th place. Can Bortoletti hold off Buemi and Chatan behind? Looks now. He's got them covered, but there's a huge gaggle of cars behind. Seems like an overtake. Really bunch up the package. We've got Cupid says he's made a mega start. He's up into 11th place. Just off the back of the points. And coming to the pits now, we'll see if we can get a good run down towards the final corner. Lopez is already on the back of Stevens in the gold. That seems to... And up at the front of the field, we have Bennett in the Zotov-Skini, who has absolutely flown away. 3.5 second lead to Muller behind. So perhaps the bumpy old school here really painting the strength of the Zotov-Skini. They've been nowhere in the first half of the season. They've scored some points in the second half, but they seem to be flying away, and we're seeing this trend of a slow car at the front of the field. Obviously, the Zotov-Skini must be quite a bit quicker than the Peugeot because it's dropped it here, and Muller is acting as a cork in the bottle for the cars behind. Muller's in second. Lapierre, first of the Alpines, in 3rd position. He's been chased down by Fuoco in the gorgeous Ferrari 499P. Lopez is quickly pulling towards the back of this too, as he's got past. We missed that overtake, but he's got past Stevens. Stevens actually looking quite good here in the Porsche. As Bortoletti is now at the back of him. Buemi still behind our Lamborghini teammates, with Shatter, Pierre Guidi and Kubica following behind. And then we've got Bamber right on the back of Matt Campbell, so I would say the Porsche is perhaps wrong track for the Porsche, and also the BMWs are running quite slow here. Through this SS section here, we've still not made any headway on Van Dorn ahead, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that to happen. And what was that? That was Bamber looking around the outside potentially. But the Cadillac just having to stay behind for now. Cycle up the field to see what is occurring. Looks like our teammate Bortoletti is still stuck up behind Stevens. Little gap forming too. Cars ahead is Lopez, absolutely flying here. Is he going to make a move on the number 50 Ferrari off Fuoco? He's just going to have to stay behind for now. But the Fuoco on the back of Lapierre as well. Obviously, the longer that Lapierre can get held up behind, Lopez held up behind Fuoco, the better it is for us. Lopez scoring massive points here at the moment, and us right at the back as we've got the right gaggle of cars here. We've got the Porsche of Rasmussen trying to go past the BMW of Van der Linde, and then behind them the Porsche of Kevin Estre battling with Van Dorn. But we are going to make a very opportunistic there. Around the outside in towards the S's, almost off the track there. But we moved on down into the beginning of the S's and get it done past Van Dorn there, and finally making some moves and positions into 18th place, focusing now on Porsches ahead of Estre and Rasmussen. About half a lap separating us from some lap traffic, so give it another 2-3 laps and we will have that to contend with as well. Very difficult to manage around here with all the twists and turns. You see our car just bouncing all over the bumps. We've had trouble with the ride of the car in previous races, and potentially around here might cause us some more issues. Obviously here a big lock up there. Fortunately for us, the separation between Muller in second down to us is only about 10 seconds, so not getting too much of that field spread. Even Bennett is only 16 seconds ahead of us, 17 seconds ahead of us. So the pace of the Isotta Fraschini doesn't seem to be massive here. If this was perhaps Lopez out in front, that gap would be maybe double. But as things stand, not too much field spread, which might help us when we get into the pit stops. See, our car, just compared to everyone else, just bouncing down the straights on the rear. Almost like porpoising that you do in F1 or with the wingless Peugeot. We get a brilliant run through turn. Can we make an opportunistic move here down into turn 2? Just going to stay behind for now. So tempting. You see us there riding the curves. It's probably quite slow to ride the curves, but you just want to cut as much of the corner as you can. Still just stuck behind Kevin Estre. You see a lock up there from Rasmussen ahead of us. And I think at this point of the race we do have the pace. We do seem to be, we've got our tyres in good temperature. We've kind of eased them in. And I think we do have good pace. It's just that we are caught behind slower cars. through the S's now. Can we get a good run on Estra? I think we can, and we're going to sit in the circle here down towards the final corner. See, we're right up on his gearbox, moving out into the right hand side. We get pushed right up against the wall there by Estra, so Estra really not wanting to give us this position. We're going to push him wide through the final corner, over the big bumps there, and make a beautiful move, almost getting very close to the wall there, up into 17th place. Rasmussen seems to have dropped off of the back of Van der Linde slightly here. No, another big lock up there for us, just misjudging that braking zone slightly. And up at the front of the field, Fuoco has gone past Lapierre up into third place, so he's now right on the back of Muller. We'll go check the action up the field, just make sure that do we get a really good run there on Rasmussen? Look like we got quite a good run, but I think we're maybe still too far behind. So Rasmussen's going to defend to the inside. We're going to make a brave move around the outside into the final corner. Maybe do a little switch back here. Can we get Tation in the car? Pushing it right up against the wall there. Down into turn one. Any defensive moves from Rasmussen? We cheeky look there, but just have to back out of it. Not really a opportunity to overtake into turn one, unless you are already side by side. Through the final, you see Rasmussen's really dropped off the back of the BMWs, so it's becoming crucial in this race to get past. Already a third of the way through. I believe Bennett is already in the traffic, the GT3 traffic, so it won't be long until we encounter them. Hopefully we will be able to use it to our advantage. You see a little puff of smoke there as we lock up. And we want to use that GT3 traffic to our advantage. Still only about 10 second separation from us to second place. So we're definitely not out of it yet. A lot of drivers running nose to tail, it seems. Through the penultimate corner, we get an excellent run there. Rasmussen quite wide, and looks like we've got the speed pulling down towards the final corner. I think we might be running higher wings than some of the other drivers, bouncing down towards the final corner, but get the move done before the braking zone. And we're now free to chase after Van der Linde and Van Thor. We'll cycle up slightly here. Bambus by Stevens. And we've got absolute chaos here. As we've got, is that Pierre Guidi trying to get past the GT traffic, getting held up there. We'll jump back onto our POV for just a moment to see how the traffic will affect our rivals up ahead. Another lock up there. You see, it's so easy to lock up round here with all the bumps. Very old school track, Sebring. basically on an old airfield, a bit like Silverstone. You see just carnage up ahead. We're rubbing our hands here as we know there'll be opportunities for us to capitalise on. See, they're the first of the 911 GT3 Porsches, the Manti Racing. You know, I love that GT3 Porsche. When I come to do some online racing, you know, I was always glad when it was GTE because I could race in the Porsche. Now with the GT3 I can run in the updated version. The Sebring at the moment doesn't seem to have a whole lot of pace. You see cars everywhere. BMW's going down the inside of Porsches up ahead there. We get held up slightly by the 2.9 Ferrari there. And down here it's just a sea of cars. It's an absolute mess. We go down the inside of the Aston Martin and the McLaren there, getting a move past Van der Linde and a very opportunistic move on Van Thor as well. Almost contact side by side. As we dive down, he's going to get blocked in by his GT3 teammate, and that's two BMWs in face of a straight and a corner. Now up into 14th place, right on the gearbox of Matt Campbell, number 5 Porsche. Running down towards this hairpin. Can we get the move done? We look around the outside, which is a brave move, running off on the dirt there. Flashing our headlights as we feel a bit aggrieved, but we're going to go round the outside of the Corvette and Ferrari almost losing it on the grass, but Campbell got held up there and we make a very opportunistic move. Again, there is the Ford Mustang in all its V8 glory. We are now just one place away from our starting position of 12th. And amazingly, it looks like we lapped most of the GT3 traffic in one lap, which isn't actually what we wanted. We wanted the GT3 traffic to stay for a little bit longer. You see the camera shaking all over the place there as the various V8s and V6s roar past it. Bamber has got past overhead and is looking to make a move past Pierre Guidi to move himself up to the top 10. See, this being the car that lost us second position last time out, and looks like he has some damage on his front bumper, so I imagine a few cars here might have got some damage cycling through the traffic, and will be moving into pit stop territory in a few laps time. I think fortunately we've got through it unscathed. It'll be interesting to see how many positions we can make up thanks to not doing a repair. Stand this battle through the SSC. If Bamber can get a good run through the penultimate corner here. It looks like he does. It look like Pierre Guidi was slightly wide there, but both of them in the slipstream of Chatham ahead. And it looks like Pierre Guidi is just going to have enough speed into the final corner. They ahead of the 02 Cadillac. Up at the front of the field we have, who's that, Lopez looking to go around the outside of Lapierre. Lapierre dives it back down the inside into the second corner, and that means Buemi now gets a chance to come back at his teammate. Was just going to back out of it, and this is really not good for our championship hopes. Lopez up into 4th place, sniffing that podium position. And our leader, Bennett, 15 seconds now, so he's absolutely flying at the front. I don't know what, rocket fuel they've put in the bottom of Skinny this weekend. But he is flying. Nico Muller has managed to retain 2nd place, with the French 2-3 of the Alpine also behind. Lopez and Buemi run in 4th and 5th behind the Alpine. But it looks like Lopez is desperate to get up onto the podium position. I think some pit stops here, some people going slowly. We've got the Peugeot, the Toyotas in the pits, and Bennett also in the pits. We are going to continue on for another lap by when we cycle back onto ourselves. Yes, we have continued on for another lap, as well as both Alpines, both factory Ferraris, as well as El Bamba. Not a very good pit stop for you there at all. I wanted to see who's going to be the first to leave. I imagine it'll be Bennett, but the order should be pretty shaken up. So you see there, Bennett put out at an angle, and he's released, gets slowed down a little bit by the GT3 cars coming in. Then you have Muller, who's going to be released. Wonder if there is some incidents here. His Kubica gets held up there. He's ahead of the Toyotas. The Toyotas have been held up massively there. One of them has been shuffled down quite a few positions. Kubica having a brilliant roll of the dice there. As he's jumped up massively, he's effectively now into 3rd place from being, what was he, outside the points? So a lot of cars looking to take repairs. The BMW there jumped up massively. We'll have to wait for the other cars to cycle in, as now Lapierre, Fuoco, Bamba and ourselves all cycle into the pits. And we, well, with the new HUD updates, we can actually see what the other drivers have done. So all of them have taken full fuel, I believe, and I believe probably changed tyres. We are going to try a different strategy. We're not going to change tyres. We're going to take a little bit less fuel. This might be something that I change for Season 3. But for now, we need all the help we can get, really. So hopefully we can use that to jump up the grid order. Clearly it is doable, because the Ferrari of Kubica has done it. But now we have Bennett coming through the penultimate corner here. I'm amazed at how well this car is doing. Somehow leading a race from, being right at the back for most of the season. And somehow we come out in 2nd place. So our pit strategy there has worked an absolute wonder. We are on used tyres, which might come back to bite us. But taking the less fuel, taking no tyres, having to do repairs, has meant that we've jumped up from just outside the top 10 up into 2nd place. So you see that, the small margins that I was talking about from, 10 seconds between 2nd and last, have really had a huge impact there. And we'll look down the grid as it stands. Bennett obviously leading us in second place, currently with a 7-second lead over the 36th Alpine of Lapierre, but I suspect that that will come down very quickly. He has just overtaken Muller, who's finally relinquished that position. Kubica is in 5th position ahead of our rival of Lopez, who has a little lock-up there. Chatan and Buemi follow with the first of the Porsches being Matt Campbell in 9th. He has Will Stevens just behind him, being chased down by Van Thorn, the first of the BMWs. And then the 3 drivers that I really want to talk about are Bortoletti, our teammate, falling down massively down the order. Also, the 2 factory Ferraris, they were running up in the top 10, and now down in 16th and 17th, along with Earl Bamber. So it's sharply turned into a race to forget for those 3. But looking up at the front for some action, looks like Muller has Kubica and Lopez right over the back of him. Seems like the Peugeot really doesn't have the pace here, but because it's such a difficult track to overtake on, is managing just to stay ahead ever so slightly. And ahead of these, we've lost quite a bit of time, you know, gap plus 7 seconds. Now it's come down to just 3 seconds between myself and Lapierre. So the fresh tyres really given our rivals around us a big advantage. It might hit a point where that tyre advantage starts to normalise, but for now we are very slow compared to the cars behind. You see Kubica very wide there. Is that going to open the door for Lopez? I think it has. Lopez down the inside of the Le Mans race winner. And just getting slightly onside there, over bumps, has dropped Kubica place. So he's going to go around the outside. Going to go around the outside of the Ferrari as well. He's just going to get boxed in there. So even the AI drivers getting very unsettled and up ahead of these. The Alpine is closed in by another second or so, as I've had a massive lock up there. That's really not going to help our chances. And now Lapierre is right on our gearbox. Using all the pace he can extract out of those brand new medium tyres. We have just under 15 minutes to hold on. Probably equates to about 7 laps. very difficult race for us to hang on to. You see down it, looking for a dive down the inside there. Actually coming and hitting us and half spinning us. Lapierre there, just coming out of nowhere and gliding to the back of us. That drops us down. Kubica, Muller and Lopez all going past us. And that is a disaster for us. We've dropped down into 6th position. All because we got hit by the Alpine. And we also now have Chatan and Buemi right behind us as well. So this race is going from bad to worse for us. Chatan looking for a move down the inside. All of these cars will be on fresh medium tyres. We will be looking for some revenge on Lapierre. We're going to look around the outside. We go around the outside of one, not just one, but 2 cars. Can get the traction out of the corner. Overtake Muller as well. We're just going to have to stay behind for now, but we get... That was an excellent move we pulled off there on Lapierre. Unfortunately, this squabbling has meant that Kubica and Lopez have shot away from us. Through the final corner, can we get a good run on the Peugeot? Gaining. But just going to have to stick behind for now. Should we look at the view behind? The 2 Alpines charging towards us. Some traffic there. Right, we didn't want it. But even worse for Lapierre behind, who's going off the track there, trying to avoid that 4. So up ahead there, Kubica defending from Lopez. So I'm praying that Kubica can keep him behind. Looks like here we're actually struggling for some pace. See, on the used tyres. Once we've got past this traffic, we have a little bit of a gap till the next bunch. And 4/10 off of Peugeot there. Charging down towards turn 1, you see the Aston Martin there. We've got the Alpine as well, looking down our inside potentially. Goes for a dive move, but we swoop in. But we're going to have to do some more defensive work down into this next section of corners, diving down the inside of the Corvette. Can we get the move done? We just about get it done. And this is frantic driving here. Just trying to retain as much track position as I can. Score as many points. Lopez now up into 2nd place. With under 10 minutes left, unsure if he can catch Bennett, but we actually get brake check there by Muller. Muller braking really early, and that has caused us to have quite significant damage on our front end. Unsure why he was doing that, some lift and coasting perhaps, but it caught us unawares, and we slammed right into the back of him. So again, the Peugeot's just not liking us as we actually go quite wide there. Off on the grass, we have to cut the corner slightly. Well, I say slightly, massively there, not gaining any time. But that is not ideal for us. We're going to have some muck and marbles on our tyres for the next few corners. On the outside of the Ferrari there. But now Buemi is right on the back of us. Obviously, I think Buemi is currently third in the championship, so he's not too far behind us. But him overtaking us here would help both him and his teammate Lopez. We've got to try and do everything we can to keep the Toyota behind us. You see here, the Toyota just has so much more grip. He's all over us. Looking left, looking right. We go quite deep there. Can he get traction out of this corner? It looked like he just got held up a bit behind us and couldn't quite put the traction down. But he gets a good run through the final corner there. Are we going to have to go defensive down turn one? We actually stay on that right hand side and just swoop it through. You see he's right on our rear end. I don't know how much damage the collision with Muller has had. Whether it's just cosmetic or whether there are some deeper underlying problems with the car. He's looking left and he's looking right, but can't quite make a move past us. Our tyres at this are severely worn and severely flat spotted from various lockups. Keeping this Lamborghini on the track is a challenge, let alone having to defend. But Muller here doesn't look particularly fast. He's going to defend all the way to the side. Can we swoop down the outside of him, down into the final corner? We're going to look for it. Maybe do a little switch back here. I think we've gone too wide, and that's actually let Buemi through. So we've gone for, tried to go for a move on Muller and lost out of position to our one of our main rivals. Buemi quite a tight line there through turn one. We can't quite capitalise on it. In fact, we're getting attacked by Lapierre, defending down in turn 2 and 3. that really is not ideal for us. We're going to have to try and get back past Burnley, which is going to be not going to be easy at all. As his sights are now set on Muller, I would imagine he should breeze past fairly easily. There's so much grip in this number 8 Toyota. So much speed coming down towards. It's just going to have to stay behind him for now. But I would imagine down this back straight towards the final corner, he should get a good run through the penultimate turn as he charges down towards the final corner. Muller is going to defend to the inside. Buemi switches to the outside. Can we swoop all the way around the outside? Is he going to do what we did the time before? We're looking. Can we get a good run out through the exit of the final corner? We can't quite put the power down as nicely as we did. Now it's going to be a charge down to turn 1 for Buemi versus Muller. Around the outside, it's going to be a long way around the outside, but does he have the grip? He does have the grip. And we're going to capitalise on that and catch Muller unawares and follow the number 8 Toyota through and up into 5th place. We're regaining our 5th place that we lost to Buemi. And with just under 2 minutes left, I would imagine we might have just one more lap. Well, this lap and the lap. So can we hold on? You see pace Buemi has, he's dropped us massively. We've then got Muller being chased down by Lapierre and Chatan. First of the Porsches of Campbell, not too far behind them either. He's followed by Stevens, Van Thor and Bortoletti. We're just outside the top 10. And down at the rear of the pack we have Fuoco trying to get past Rasmussen. They have Buemi right behind them as well. Or Bamber even, sorry. Getting mixed up there with our Bs. Can Bamber get a good run through the final corner here? It's going to be a drag race down towards the final corner. Looks like Fuoco's going to look for a move. Doesn't quite get it done. As there's contact there between Bamber and Fuoco. Bamber just running straight into the back of Ferrari. And this is going to be the final lap. Can Fuoco make a move down into turn 1? He dives it down the inside and gets them done. What a brilliant move there by Fuoco. Bamber looking around the outside. There's almost a huge instant there between the 38 Jota and the Cadillac. Obviously this year Jota actually running the Cadillac effort. But in this iteration of Le Mans Ultimate, bitter rivals Jota and Cadillac. And now we'll cycle up in front of the field as the clock has ticked down to 0. This man, Bennett, round of applause. You see, Lopez has caught up massively now that he cycled through to the 2nd place, but Lopez, leading the race from start to finish, crosses the line and wins for Zotta Fraschini. An absolute shock winner here in Sebring. And Lopez is going to come through the final corner to bring his Toyota home in 2nd place, scoring a ton of points for the number 7 car, with Kubica in the 83, falling behind for the final final podium position. A little way off we have Buemi finishing 4th in the second of the Toyotas, and we follow him through, holding off Nico Muller behind to finish in 5th. So with that, the final sprint of race of the season is done, and Sebring has thrown a spanner in the works for our championship challenge. As we look at the drivers' standings here, Lopez has finally taken the lead from us, 2 points separating us. So with the 2 remaining races at Kota and Sao Paulo, we are in a very tight race for the drivers' championship. And Conway Lopez's teammate of Buemi is not too far behind either, still in the championship hunt. I think if you're wanting specifics of who can still win the championship, everyone down to Pierre Guidi, so that is Lopez, ourselves, Buemi, Kubica, Fuoco and Pierre Guidi could still win the championship. From Chatan down, they are all out of contention. But Bennett moving up massively there, 3 points finishes in a row and a win. Absolute shock win there for the Italian outfit. They've really come into form in the second half of the season. We'll have to wait and see what they can produce in Kota and Sao Paulo. Fuoco and Pierre Guidi really getting hurt by not scoring any points there. Moving to the team's standings, Toyota extend their lead over Ferrari by 35 points, and we actually are joint with the factory Ferraris. AF course behind in 4th, are still potentially in this championship for the teams, but are a fair way off. Isotta Fraschini moving up ahead of who were they behind before? Ahead of Peugeot, BMW, Cadillac and Proton Competition. So they're actually doing fantastic here. We'll have to see if they can pull the 13-point gap to Jota and overtake them. That would be fantastic for them. Finally, looking at the manufacturers, Ferrari still in the lead, 18 points back to Toyota, and we're 53 points off of the lead here. So looking unlikely for us. Looks like a battle between Ferrari and Toyota with the final 2 races yet to come. But that has been the final sprint of Season 2 at Sebring. We have Kota and Sao Paulo left, both 90-minute races. All 3 championships still up for grabs. All 3 championships are still very close. If you have enjoyed, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on the 2 final races and future seasons of My Drive here. If you did enjoy, comment down below, let me know what you thought, who you think is going to win this championship. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts. And I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time for the 90 minutes of Circuit of the Americas.